Hey everybody, and welcome back to Split Couch Games. I'm Scott,
And I'm Ben.
and I'm currently in Minnesota when this goes live, so we're recording this a week early, and because of that, there's no real news that we're going to comment on or anything like that, and there's no, really recent topics, so we're kind of continuing our conversation in a little sense of the word, from last week where we talked about the new Star Wars trailer. There was a rumor, and apparently that's been discredited. I did not see the discreditation, so that's going to be on Ben, if that's true or not. But there's a rumor that the Knights of the Republic series was going to be rebooted by BioWare, and yeah, so that just kind of made me think what games I would like to see rebooted. What any game series or just game that needs a sequel or anything like that. So I'll let Ben start with his desires for a reboot.
Well, to start off, I don't... to say that the rumor was discredited, I don't think it's accurate. 'Cause, first of all, this is all rumor and speculation to begin with, and the, discredited thing came from someone who was like, well, my friend works at BioWare, basically. Mm-hmm. So, I didn't hear it personally, but I think it was on The Know or some other YouTube channel that I watched, basically saying that, or someone, came out and basically said, hey, it's we're not working on this, but, that's not our current thing. They aren't actively working on it right now. It was just part of a proposal or something like that a few years ago.
Sure.
And they basically continued on to say that, BioWare Edmonton is still working on, the brand new IP or whatever that's been rumored to be announced this E3, I think. Mm-hmm. So, but anyways, back on to our actual topic of games that we want to see, rebooted or refreshed or something like that. And my answer is going to be the same as it pretty much always is when it comes to these types of questions, which is I would really love to see a reboot and or continuation of the Advent Rising franchise. Because that came out with one game. It wasn't very well received for some understandable reasons. But I feel like it's kind of one of those situations where they had one bad thing, essentially, that ended up ruining the experience for a lot of people, and they kind of let it, they just kind of let it go, and they didn't really pay attention to the rest, or maybe didn't even continue the game past a certain point, because when the game came out, it was not very graphically up to date. It looked extraordinarily dated for the time period that it came out.
Before you continue, I just want to make sure. Tell us a little bit about the game for those who haven't played it, like myself.
Advent Rising is a third-person, action-adventure shooter kind of game. It technically has a first-person mode, but it's about as good as what, GoldenEye was in terms of first person. There's a gun on the screen, it goes off the screen and back up when you reload. It was very, very, very basic, and I think it was shoehorned in as part of a production demand from a publisher or something like that, is my guess.
Sure.
But the game is, like I said, it's a third-person shooter, action-adventure kind of game. But at a certain point, you end up, meeting a couple different alien races, and there's essentially, the good guys and the bad guys, and then the good guys basically start telling you all these stories about how it's humanity are essentially gods to their people, and they have, all this hidden potential that they haven't unlocked, so you kind of go through essentially a training montage, and then you unlock some powers, and then from there on, like, you gain experience and you unlock new powers and all this kind of stuff. It was a really, really fun game. It had a lot of neat mechanics, the music was great, and I thought the story was actually really entertaining as well, and it was one of the earliest renditions of, like, you could have two different endings that would change the next couple of games. Like, because this was before the first Mass Effect even.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was really interesting, and I really enjoyed the story. The music was great. I enjoyed everything about it, even though, like I said, like, the graphics and maybe even some of the mechanics and everything were a bit dated. So I would love to see that game come back and just be, like, modernized and actually continue the fucking story that I never got, because it was so wildly unpopular that they canceled the rest of the trilogy. Because, I mean, it was riddled with a lot of problems, unfortunately. Like, it was, I don't want to say, like, super buggy, but, like, it wasn't not clean. And when the game launched, they had this, like, contest that was going to start that was like, you know, if you find the like, the specific symbol hidden somewhere in the game, then, you know, you could win, like, $1 million, and you had to, like, find it, like, once a week or something like that for the next, like, 3 months.
Jeez.
In order to essentially, like, stay in the running. And then if you did that, then you would end up winning, or you'd be, like, in the drawing for the winning or something like that. I don't know. And I actually, like, started taking part in that. And I seriously beat the game, like, start to finish, beat the game 3 or 4 times within, like, a month. Because I was trying to find this fucking symbol, only for them to come out and be like, yeah, it's not working and we don't know why, so we're canceling it. So
that's not good when your marketing strategy.
Yeah, when it's on the fucking box. Like, you could win $1 million, details inside.
Yeah. Well,
and then they're like, nope, sorry.
JK lol.
Oh. But yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's, like, the way you describe it definitely sounds like it could, like, if they updated everything, it could be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And a solid experience, and yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all I really have to say on that.
Yeah.
But I could definitely agree with you that is a reboot that I would probably check out, because it sounds like almost sounds like my kind of game. Almost.
Think about it, like, if you were to take, like, Halo, almost, like, in kind of a weird way, and, like, sort of mush it together with, like, Mass Effect, because, like, a lot of the powers were, like, you know, you'd shoot out, like, this orb or whatever, and then it would, like, hit them and they'd start floating up in the air, or it would turn into a black hole or something. So there was a lot of, like, biotics almost from Mass Effect is what a lot of the powers boiled down to. So, but yeah, it was fun. Anyways, what about you?
All right, well, mine's probably less niche and probably not as... You're probably going to take a little bit more convincing than I am, but the Army of Two franchise. And I know that they came out with a game they came out with the third just a few years ago, so it's not like a full-on reboot. But just the aggro mechanic that they had, like, that was so well done, and it made the fighting so much more strategic than really any other co-op shooter. Like, and like, it just felt so good to deal with it. There were other issues with the game. And, I played the first game and I played the second game. I didn't bother with the third, but so, like, the first game had terrible controls. Like, you would be surprised that anyone thought that the controls were okay. but they were just it kind of like added to the character a little bit. It was kind of just like, oh, you kind of learn how to deal with it. And then like by the end you're kind of like, I understand how this works now. But and then you go and you play any other game and you're like, this is better. But and like the characters are very very just terrible. Like they're not characters. They're like, people think that like Gears of War characters are all macho and everything. Like the characters in Army of Two put Gears of War characters to shame. They're just so just, I'm just hardcore and I'm gonna kill people. But the mechanic itself was so well done that I pushed through it. And they had like some really amazing set pieces, like the first level, or the first level of the first game. You're on an aircraft carrier and like a missile hits it, and like the ship starts sinking, and like it starts tilting, and all the airplanes start falling towards you, so you have to dodge the airplanes and everything. And it just was like really cool set pieces. And there was always potential for that series to be good, but writing, basically.
Writing is hard.
Yeah, and so I would love to see, but like the co-op aspect was so much fun, which is what carried it. Because like me and my friend, we had a blast playing through those two games. Because like it's really the only shooter like that just actually made the co-op aspect a part of it, and it wasn't just like, oh, now I'm shooting things with my friend. Now I'm actually like strategizing with my friend a lot more.
Yeah.
And not just in like, oh, I'll shoot this guy, well, you shoot this guy kind of way. It's very much like you had to manage how much attention you were drawing to yourself, and you could upgrade your guns to make them flashier and louder and stuff. And you have one guy who's just like there with like a silent pea shooter. It was fun, and I would like to see that done well. Like, by no means do I think that they're great games.
Yeah.
And I just want to see them done well, or at least like that mechanic taken over to another game.
Yeah.
They also had like this really like weird morality system in the second game, where you came across like the situation, and you had to choose whether or not to do the right thing or the wrong thing, or the quote unquote wrong thing. And like the first one, it was like you did a mission with a third guy that you didn't really know, and it was like, and then you got a call from your handler. It's like, there's a contract out on that guy. If you kill him, you'll get like $10,000 or whatever. And you're like, and you have to decide whether or not to kill him. And if you choose to kill him, you kill him, and then you get the money, and it's like, whatever. And if you don't kill him, then like it shows you like these pictures. Like it tells a story in pictures, and he's like on the beach, and he's just like relaxing on the beach, and then like a scuba diver comes out of the ocean and comes up and shoots him. And like there's another one, and like later on, like you're going through a zoo, and there's a rare tiger, and it's like the last tiger in existence of that species, and you have to like choose whether or not to kill it to pass through its pen, or to take the long way around. If you go take the, or like you can let it go. I think, yeah, you let it go, and if you let it go, like the pictures follow it through the city, and it hops in through like a car with an open window, and a guy gets in, and the tiger eats the guy in the car. It's so random. But yeah, again, like I just want that series done well. Because I think, I think that there needs to be more co-op type games that like rely on co-op, because I think that it's really an untapped market.
Sure.
And yeah,
it kind of going off the co-op thing, and I don't really know if this would count as like a reboot, because it's sort of an active franchise still. But the Splinter Cell games, I want them to come out with like some actual like, okay, we from the start knew we were gonna do co-op, and it was gonna be good, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
because like the the multiplayer in those games has pretty much always been good. I feel like the worst rendition in the series, both in terms of multiplayer and in terms of the campaign, I feel like would have been Double Agent. But for the most part, like, the multiplayer has always been good, and Blacklist came out 2012, I think?
Something like that,
yeah. So it's been a while, and I've been kind of itching for another one, and it's, as far as I know, not a thing that's going to be happening. But I would really love a Splinter Cell game that is, like, focused around the multiplayer and the co-op aspects that game potentially has. Because I don't think you ever played any of those, right?
I played a couple ish.
Okay.
Like not all the way through or anything. Just, you know.
But did you ever do any of the co-op or anything?
A long time ago.
Okay. Well, there was co-op in, I can't remember which one. I think it might have been Chaos Theory.
Sorry. August 20, 2013.
Oh, okay. So it came out in 2013. No, so the co-op in, like I said, I think maybe Chaos Theory, was like a set number of missions, and like there was one guy who was like Russian special ops, and then like another character that was like just the standard American guy.
America, fuck yeah.
But like the two characters had like a lot of great interplay, and for the most part, like it was basically required that you be together to get around for the most part. I mean, like, if you were wanting to do like super stealthy routes and that kind of thing, you could obviously have someone just like freaking kick in the door and go in guns blazing if they wanted to.
Yeah.
But like, if you wanted to like sneak up into the second floor of this building over here, like there's not going to be a convenient pipe that you can climb up to and then shimmy along a ledge like in the campaign. It would be like you would have to go over there and you'd have to do like a boosted jump, and then the other guy would like climb up the other guy's legs and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I want that to happen, and I want it to be good.
Yeah.
And I think we should play it because it'd be fun. Unless, of course, you don't like stealth games. I don't really know. We haven't talked too much about stealth games, so.
It depends. My biggest thing with stealth games is that they tend to take longer. And
this is coming from the guy who's like completely fine with dumping like an hour and a half into a League game.
It's not an hour and a half, but yeah. I mean,
Didn't the one that you played the other night take like fucking forever long?
It took like an hour. It was a long one. I was a little tired after that, but anyway.
Anyways.
But yeah, no. I mean, it's not like it, because what I'm saying is that, like, it can take too long to get to the story, which is my biggest problem with like an RPG or whatever. And so like doing this stealth way, like even though it's probably the same amount of time, it just kind of feels longer. Because there's a lot more. There's a little bit more waiting and planning and stuff. Like it's not that I don't like them.
Well,
it just kind of depends.
If there's ever a point where they come out with like Splinter Cell that's co-op and everything, and it's similar to the co-op that was in Chaos Theory or whichever game it is that I'm thinking of.
Is that the one? I don't. Spoiler alert. Is that the one at the end where you turn on each other?
What?
There's a Splinter Cell co-op where the end, like once you like beat the final boss or whatever, it turns into a 1v1 duel, and you have to take out the other.
Maybe. I never actually beat it because I didn't have anybody to play with. So
Sad.
yeah.
But yeah. Anyway.
It might have been. I honestly don't know, and I don't. Like I said, I don't even know if Chaos Theory is the right one. Oh, yep, I think it is.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
But yeah. No, I got what you're saying. I wouldn't mind checking. Like, I wouldn't mind checking it out. You'd be surprised at the things I would do cooperatively. Assuming that like there was things to do, like
yeah,
like for the most part, like I kind of enjoyed the Division because we were playing together.
Mm-hmm.
But there was like at the time we were playing, there was just so much in the way of having fun.
Yeah. Oh no, it was Conviction. Conviction is the one I'm thinking of.
Okay.
I forgot about that game. Because that was the one where they first started going like more action oriented with the campaign. Like it was still better than Double Agent, if you ask me, but it was more like, how can we make this stealth game as fucking flashy and ridiculous as we can?
Oh yeah.
Because like they started giving you like the marked target system, so like you could be like, I want to kill this guy and this guy and this guy, and then press Y, and I just go pew 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 pew.
Yeah.
It was so fucking stupid. But anyways.
Yeah.
No, I just, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it'd be fun. But that co-op actually did have story that would like unravel in the middle of a mission and everything, so I don't think you'd be that bored.
Sure, yeah.
But who knows?
I probably wouldn't be that bored. Let's see, I'm trying to think. I don't think that this would work, but another game, like, I kind of want another James Bond game. With like very not necessarily arcadey, but definitely arena shooter. Because I never played a lot of GoldenEye. Like I played a few games at a friend's house or whatever. But the two that I played the most was Agent Under Fire and Nightfire. And
oh God, I'm sorry.
I had so much fun with them though.
I mean, they weren't.
Like they weren't great.
Terrible.
They weren't good. They weren't good games. Like I'm not gonna be like, oh my God, they're so good.
Yeah, I mean, I played a shit ton of Agent Under Fire with my little brother.
Dude, Agent Under Fire with the fucking like the
grappling hook,
the grappling hook all around the map. You're fucking Spider-Man.
It was so much fun. It was so much fun.
It was so good. So bad, but so good.
Well, you know that they're. I don't know if it's coming to console or not. I would assume it is. Because why not tap that market? But
sure.
They're making a new Quake. That's a nice arena style.
Yeah, I might check that out. I don't know, like it was just kind of fun to like set the rules to be the most ridiculous thing. Because it was like
sure.
And there were actually some like really good maps that like to this day like I remember, like the fucking dock map. I forget the name of it. But that was a lot of fun.
My favorite map was the one that was in like the ski resort or whatever.
That was Nightfire. With the helicopters?
Oh, it was?
Yeah, with like the two buildings and like the chair
the chairlift thing, yeah.
And like in the back, like, you can set helicopters up. Yeah, we did a lot of helicopter fights in there.
Okay.
That was definitely Nightfire.
Well, both of those games are kind of like blending together in my mind.
Yeah.
All right, so Nightfire was the helicopters, Agent Under Fire was the grappling hook.
Yeah, and
okay.
I just kind of like, just that like completely ridiculous, no need to take it seriously.
Oh yeah.
Kind of multiplayer.
Yeah.
And also like the campaigns were freaking hard. They were really hard.
Yeah, I don't really remember them at all.
I remember getting really mad at Agent Under Fire because like my neighbors and I we all had the game and like we would like kind of like compete to finish it on our own, but we never were able to because it was really freaking hard. And then like finally one of my neighbors got to the final level and you fight, and I eventually got there too. But you had to like kill a bunch of guys, and there was a way that you could bypass it, and we figured that out. but like there was still more to the level, and then eventually you find the final boss, and there's a room where you walk in and he shoots a rocket launcher, and if you don't go the right way, you die instantly because the floor crumbles. And
Good.
we got there one time and then we were like, what the fuck? And then we never played it again. And it kind of haunts me to this day. But yeah, I wouldn't mind like a good, like, just fun James Bond game, because I feel like I don't think it would be like any good, and it would be like if they made it, they would make it too much like Call of Duty or whatever, and I don't want that. Like, I just want a game that is just so silly. You're running around with a grappling hook, and you're feeling good. You're just enjoying yourself.
Okay.
That's all I want.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind the Unreal series coming back.
It's the thing.
Those are fun.
It's a free-to-play game, actually, too.
I'm going to reiterate, I wouldn't mind the Unreal series coming back. Because the one that's out, A, I don't believe is on console, and
Sure.
B, doesn't count.
It counts.
Pretty much anything past like Unreal 2004 has been downhill.
I've heard good things about the new Unreal.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I've heard good things. But, you know.
I mean, I stand by my statement. Because I feel like the Unreal 2004, or Unreal Tournament 2004, and then like the console version, Unreal Championship on Xbox, the original. Like the 2004 and the Unreal Championship version was kind of like where it was at its best. Because like you had all these different types of characters, so it wasn't just like, oh, everybody is, you know, whoever they want to be, and you can all do the same things. Like, you had, like, you know, the robots, you had the big juggernaut guys, you had like regular humans and all this kind of stuff, and they all had their own like perks and bonuses. Like, the robots could like double jump or something like that, but then they couldn't do like certain other things, and then like the humans like could like run faster or something, but they had lower health or something like that. I don't know.
Sure,
but like everybody had
attributes.
Yeah, like everybody had strengths and weaknesses, and I loved that. And then
Yeah.
you also had like the fucking game mode that was essentially like football, where it was like, you know, each team had a base and they had a goal, and then there was like this ball thing in the middle, and you could just like run out, pick it up, shoot it across the map, like chase after it, like the fucking teleporter guns, the lightning gun, everything. Like, I want all of that.
Yeah. I feel like there's a lack of just like fun shooters that are just like there to have fun. Because I feel like that's part of like what made Rocket League so successful, is that it's just fun. Like, you can be competitive in it, but like for the most part, you just pick it up and you play and you have fun.
Yeah,
it's not complicated. And you don't have to like make a build and like optimize. You know, I have this first weapon and this secondary weapon just so that I can do this, this, and this. And it's like, no, just have fun. Just a little bit of fun.
Yeah, I agree. And I think part of it's because like too many people are worried about like having unique mechanics, but also balance.
Yeah.
Because if there's one thing about fucking Unreal Championship and Unreal Tournament 2004, that game was not balanced. Like, it was very lopsided. Like, there definitely were weapons that were way OP.
Yeah.
But it was also a game that, like, the tools were there where if you wanted to avoid those things, then you could.
Yeah.
You just had to, you know, be good enough.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Bring fun back to video games, man. Come on.
Yeah.
God, video games aren't fun anymore. Alright, and then this isn't, like, really a reboot, but, like, and this is just gonna end it. I want a fucking baseball game on Xbox. Or even PC. I just don't want to have to buy a PS4 to play an actual baseball game.
Nobody cares about baseball.
It was like, there was a time, it was like, the early 2000s, there were like 4 different baseball series, like just active baseball series being produced. There's like Triple Play, All Star Baseball, 2K, and another one, and they were all like good in their own ways, and it was great because you could play a baseball game on any console. But nope.
For clarification purposes, he does not claim RBI baseball or whatever to be an actual game. So before anybody says in the comments,
and yeah, I mean it's a game, and it's all right, but it's not a game. It's not a realistic baseball simulation, which is what I'm looking for.
Okay.
On not the PS4. So anyone who's like, well, 2K, and I'm like, no. Sony has that. Fucking Sony. Anyway, that's gonna be it. Let us know in the comments what games you would like to see rebooted, or a sequel, or whatever the case may be. And because yeah, we're interested to hear your thoughts. We're always interested to hear your thoughts, not just on this video. But yeah, we'll see you guys next time on Split Couch Games.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Man, I just want a reboot of Chaos Theory, period. But seriously, like, fucking cutting through tents and all that kind of shit. They've never done that since, and it annoys me.